different speech group that's up in that room right now. I'm going to double check to make sure that nothing weird happened. I'm like 99% sure I should have that time for that room signed up on the book upstairs. So next week we'll get to know. But since they were in the middle of things, I didn't really want to kick them out of their rehearsal. So
Pretty nice. I was so good.
yes, Sarah was ready to kick them out. Let's get started with a word of prayer. Adam, would you please pray?
Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you for this day, Lord. Just thank you for this time to get to be here in order to rehearse for Sam's choir, Lord. That I just ask you that you'll be with this rehearsal tonight, that you'll just bring to our memory everything we worked on last semester, and you'll just help us with working on these songs and working out the kinks and everything, Lord. I ask you that you'll just be with us in this time, Lord. In Jesus' name.
Okay, let's stand up and do some stretches. How was everyone's break?
Oh, muy, I said no bueno. I was like, oh. I just always like month 1 was great. It was great. Month 2, I'm always like, I hate everybody.
Let's take out Let the Song Begin. My goal for this rehearsal tonight is that we can refresh our memory on these ones that we knew really well. And Sunday I'm wanting to get into some of the stuff we have not touched as much. So tonight, Let the Song Begin. We did this for my final, so we technically performed this already, and it was very nice. Same with Tres Canciones. We're going to work on this tonight. Farewell, Dear Love. We are able to sing the whole thing. At least we were at the very end of last semester. This is the one that's a little bit more difficult, so if there's any questions, feel free to ask. We will slightly review it before that, though. And then Social Madrigal, I believe we also didn't get through the entire thing. If not, it was like the very, very end that we did. But I'm pretty sure we've gone through the whole thing. So take out Let the Song Begin. Let's just see how we do. We'll do it with the piano, but let's see how we do just from the beginning. Take it a little slow too. Let the song begin. Ready, sopranos? Ready? Skip the Ready?
Let the song begin in harmony, begin in harmony, harmony, begin in harmony. Let the chorus swell with melody, let it swell with melody, melody, let it swell with melody. Let the song begin, let the joy begin, let the song, let the joyful, let the joyful, let the joyful voice, let us now rejoice. Let the song begin again. Let the song begin.
Very, very nice. It sounded awesome. Any questions on that at all?
We are doing a repeat.
Yes, we are doing the repeat, just for time's sake. I was going to skip it.
Cool.
That sounds really good. Like, I'm not even going to go over it again. It sounds really good. So go ahead and put it away. Tres canciones. Let's review the pronunciation a little bit. Those of you who know better, which Andrew's not here, but Reagan is, so correct me if I'm wrong. For those who, okay. Escuchar al viento. Repeat after me. Escuchar al viento.
Escuchar al viento,
Soplando por la noche.
soplando por la noche,
Respirar la paz
respirar la paz
para todos.
para todos.
Sounds good. Really be thinking of the pronunciation when we're singing it. Something I did notice is when we're singing it, it does come off a little bit more American. So make sure you have the correct pronunciation in your head. Some of those vowels aren't quite the Spanish. They're coming out as very American. And I'll try to, in rehearsals I didn't really notice it that much, but then once I listened to the recordings, it was like, oh yeah, you can tell that this is kind of not exactly where it needs to be, so I'll try to be more careful about listening to it. La lluvia, ready? La lluvia está cayendo.
La lluvia está cayendo,
Sobre la tierra cayendo.
sobre la tierra cayendo.
And fuego, fuego.
Fuego,
And we'll try 100 more times, and then vea el resplandor rojo.
vea el resplandor rojo,
Vea la llama naranja.
vea la llama naranja.
Awesome. Let's start with escuchar. Should we just jump right in, or does someone want to hear anything specific? Let's jump right in. Go ahead and stand. Let me get my water. So let's kind of go through that and talk through it a little bit. If you have a pencil, now would be a great time to use it. If you don't, I brought pencils, they're over there. But a lot of you I know had pencils kept in your folders, so that's nice. So it starts mezzo forte. This song is a very soft song in general. It's about the rain. It's not like, pouring rain, but it's a nice, calm, peaceful rain. But it is mezzo forte here, so not too laid back. It needs the power. But then we get to page 5, and it's mezzo piano. And I would like a nice contrast here. When we get to Respirar la paz para todos, drop that down a significant amount. That way, when we get to the bottom of that page, Respirar la paz para todos, and we can kind of crescendo to that forte on the top of page 6. So if you want to mark, circle that mezzo piano sign on the top of page 5 to help you remember to drop dynamically. There is a decrescendo right before that, por la noche, on bottom of page 4. So I want a nice contrast between the first section and this second section. Measure 18, paz. Circle that and put a nice big star next to it. I want a nice paz. I kind of want it to explode a little bit. Kind of give us the entrance to that crescendo over there. Then it's forte, top of page 6. We said that. Skip down to the bottom of page 6. That very last La Paz. That's held out for 6 whole beats. Make sure you've got the whole 6 beats there, and it is going to decrescendo to a pretty soft sound. So don't let the energy drop. I still need a nice, confident sound. Yes, Reagan.
So in measure 23, where we have a little parentheses with a breath mark, do you want us to take that and if so, will you cue us or do you just want us to sneak it?
You can breathe there. The guys will be holding it out, so the sound will continue. But the ladies can take a quick breath there. That should help you with the holding of that next long, sustaining pause. Any other questions? Awesome. Let's do it again. It's funny because I don't know if I've heard this as much in a choral, well, no, I've heard it in a choral setting. A lot of times directors will say, and also private instructors, if you take private voice lessons, they'll be like, you're not giving me enough here, give me over and above what you think, and then if you go too far, I'll let you know. And you almost never go too far. And not that we went too far, but the pause on the bottom of page 5, just like this much, a little bit too far, but it was good. It was a lot better than the first time. Let's take it from the top of page 5. Another thing, never mind. I was going to say it might have gotten a little bit too soft on measure 13, but I actually kind of like where it went. It was really nice. So let's take it from top of page 5. Can you give us those notes, please? Ready? Very nice. Let's go to La Lluvia now. Remember the tempo change. La lluvia está acá, la, 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 la. From the beginning.
La lluvia está cayendo. La lluvia está cayendo sobre la tierra, cayendo sobre la tierra, cayendo.
Good. This one again is one that dynamically I think it could use some fine work, but I think we've got it in a pretty good place. Specifically, top of page 8 and bottom of page 8, I think is what we can address. There's a swell there, there's a crescendo there at the top of page 8, measure 9. Sobre la tierra cayendo, or whatever your part is. I'm singing like all grades, you know. But and then at the bottom of page 14, and bottom of page 8, measure 14, sobre la tierra cayendo, and bring that down, and then cayendo, and as soon as you are cut, that's when the piano does the dun, 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 dun. So watch carefully there. Let's do this one more time.
One question, Sam.
Yes.
Measure 12 and 8, there's a rest. Are you wanting us to carry it through?
Measure
I don't know,
12.
I'm holding out do and all the way, like, yeah, until we get to the, so right out there.
Can you play that for me so I can hear? Sorry, can you play from measure 9?
Wait, what?
Can you play measure 9 until like first change? Observe the rest there.
Okay.
So let's sing specifically that part right there. So top of page 8. Ready?
Sobre la tierra,
Awesome. Back to the beginning. mentioned it, so I want to point it out. There is a retard at the measure 14. Sobre la tierra cayendo. We're going to slow it down just a little bit there, but I think for the most part we observe that pretty well. Just I'm going to circle it in my music so I don't forget. Any questions on this at all? Any other questions? Yes.
I think that we might be doing the triplets wrong instead of it being all of them equal. It kind of sounds like one. Kind of if you subdivide it.
There is, it's probably not exactly triplets, and if you listen to the recording, I don't think they do it like that either.
Okay, yeah,
And so that's kind of what I've heard it as, so that's why I'm not really correcting it. I'm fine with the way it is. I know it's not exactly as written.
Yeah, just making sure.
I know, it breaks my heart a little bit on the inside, but this is the way I think they do it on the recording, and so that way we're not listening to something and then singing it a different way. You know, that can be confusing. Out of curiosity, and I'm not calling anybody out, but who actually listened to the songs over the break? Full disclosure, I did not. I did nothing over the break. So who actually listened to the music?
Like
You are awesome. Bonus points. I definitely sent out a message saying, make sure you're listening to the playlist, and I didn't open it. So.
I at least opened the playlist and I think I did 9 songs.
Well, you did more than I
Counting
did.
it.
You did more than I did then. So, Fuego. Any questions before we jump in? Yes.
I think, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a good way to sound more Spanish would be to make sure that our O's and our E's are very tall.
Yes.
So fuego instead of fuego.
Yes. That was something. If you listen to the, I think it was on my final exam recordings. If you go back and listen to those, they're on that YouTube. They're on the channel, not the playlist, I think. But it's a lot of O's and not like a pure O. Sobre la tierra, instead of like sobre la tierra. So yeah, making those vowels nice and tall is kind of really fun. In any of these songs, but especially the Spanish ones, I'm just kind of gonna give it a less American sound. Any other questions? All right, let's begin. Remember, sopranos you brings in, and the guys and the altos echo. And this is the weird one with the. Ready, go. Awesome. Someone guess what I'm going to say. The dynamics, yes, it sounds good, but the dynamics, I want to address them because this starts with forte. Go to page 10 and measure 75, mezzo piano and smoothly. So this should be a pretty big dynamic difference from the first section. We're not singing even mezzo forte, we're singing mezzo piano. So it's like 2 whole steps down dynamically from what we were singing. I'm going to make a nice big circle in my music, so just do the same. Whatever helps you remember. And then top of page 11, La Llama Naranja. There's a crescendo there to forte, and I want to hear that. I want to hear it very clearly. And then that might be it. Well, the end is fortissimo, so really loud there. But yeah, for the most part, those are the things I wanted to touch. Any questions before you open? Please.
Can we hear the soprano fuegos, especially from like measure 8 to measure 12, and then measure 27 to the end?
Well, start on the 6/8, measure 25. What's the it's a weird interval there. So that's 6/8, measure 25. You all were on it more than I was. Let's do it one more time so I can get it right. Ready? So 1, 2, 4, 1. Feel good about that? It is weird. So if you want to hear it any other time going forward, let me know.
I think I'll just listen to the recording function, that's it's like my head.
Back to page 9, beginning of Fuego. Sounded good. I liked the dynamic difference on top of page 10, measure 13. That was much better than before. I heard the crescendo on measure 18. Nice progress on this one. Let's take out, you can go ahead and have a seat now. Let's take out a social madrigal and see how much you remember of this one. There's no chair in here this time. We gotta find a big chair. Could you give us the starting notes just so we can hum this? Everyone got that? From the beginning. Hello.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think the guys might need to hear their note on the top of page 9.
Yes. I was going to say the part where the guys come in on their own definitely need some work, at least on the getting in here. What measure did you say specifically, Sarah?
The first one, where they have
Yeah. What?
the shepherd so handsome. Just their starting
That
message.
is page,
Top of page
top of
9.
page 9. Guys, why don't we sing that? Top of page 9. The shepherd so handsome. Ready, guys? Top of page 9.
The shepherd so handsome did make her heart to faint. The lady so winsome, he knew he should come enter. He briefly proposed to her on Twitter.
Good. One more time. Make sure that Twitter. Don't hold it out for more than just that quarter number. Otherwise, it'll kind of get back up too close to the next section and it'll not have a nice clean ending. So top of page 9 again, guys. Ready?
The shepherd so handsome did make her heart to faint. The lady so winsome, he knew he should come enter. He briefly proposed to her on Twitter.
Yeah. And then there's something else. Where else do the guys sing by themselves? Yes. Where is that?
Page 6. Bottom of page 6.
Bottom of page 6, guys, measure 32, 33, 34, 35. Ladies, why don't you bring us in on that, though? Let's start from the top of this page. Guys, your note is the same note that the sopranos are singing, like right before you come in. So if you're having trouble hearing what your note's supposed to be, yes, there it is. Can you put that one more time? Make sure you're like internalizing that note right before we get to your part. So ladies, top of page 6, the maiden. Ready?
The maiden so lovely, full of charm and grace, took her cat's beauty's picture and posted it on grace. Look, her love said while friending her on Facebook.
Good. Let's do that one more time. Ladies, just come in on took her cat's cutest picture. Ready? Sorry.
Took her cat's beauty's picture and posted it on Facebook. Her love said while friending her on Facebook.
Yeah, good. Any other questions on this? Yes, Rachel.
Alright, I'm finding
You're
it.
good.
Page 4, just that top system, we kind of stumbled on harmonies a little bit there, we just hear it.
The top system on page 4?
Yes.
Can you play that for them, please? Just soprano and alto. Or everyone, sure. Altos, your whole 2 notes there.
Thank you, Kelsey. Appreciate it.
Can you play that one more time? No, let's sing it together. guys sing it. Ready?
And so she did research him on Google.
Good. On these measures, since this is in 2/2 time, it presents some conducting challenges. If I try to super clearly show you the cutoffs there, Dr. Willingham calls it swatting flies. I look like I'm swatting flies. Google, and like lots of sharp motions. I want those cutoffs nice and clean. But I can't quite show the traditional, like, you know, like my closing of my hands. So watch very closely. And so she did research him on Google. When my hands go up, that's when you breathe. Just something to be thinking about. It happens all over the place because I chose all music that's in 2/2. It was not on purpose. We will be adding a new song soon, and I think it's in 4/4.
Hey!
But then I have another new one and it's in 2/2. So, yeah, definitely not intentional.
Like besides the ones that are in here?
Well, there was one that we worked on last semester a little bit when certain people were here. It was called Wait for the Morning. I don't know who remembers that one. We didn't work on it too much because I only have like 8 copies of it, but I have more coming. I should have all the music that we need by Monday. So hopefully by next week we'll have a folder for everybody.
How long
Tonight,
till the recital?
less than 2 months.
What's the date for it?
March 23rd is the recital. And the check is like early in March, like in the single digits in March. I don't remember the exact date. But yeah, so we have a little bit over a month to get pretty much ready. So kind of scary. Which that reminds me, I meant to mention this in the beginning of the rehearsal. So I have Sunday nights at 8:30 right after church, Wednesday nights at 8:30 right after church. That is if you have the 7 o'clock services. And then Thursday nights at 8:30 as well. My intention is that you will not be coming to every single rehearsal. I'm thinking that one of the rehearsals each week will be like an all guys rehearsal or an all ladies rehearsal. That way we can work on your specific songs, a quick break for the guys and Gloria for the ladies. I was thinking about making it like, every Thursday is a split rehearsal, and it would just alternate each week, you know. That way you have a little bit of a break. I don't think I'm going to pick a day and say this is the alternating rehearsal, since everyone's schedules are crazy this semester, and trying to find a time to work for everybody was literally impossible, unless you wanted to meet at like things. So, which I don't. But anyway, so I'm thinking what's going to happen is at the beginning of each week, I'll let you know, or at the end of the previous week, I'll say, hey, next week the split rehearsal is on Wednesday, or this week it's on Thursday. And I'll let you know in plenty of time. My goal is that Sunday will not be a split rehearsal ever, and it'll only be Wednesday or Thursday, so if that helps you kind of mentally plan. Reason being, I think Sunday is the day that most everybody can come. Lots of people are working like long afternoon, evening shifts, 5 days a week. So it's kind of difficult for them to make it. But Sunday should be good for almost everybody. That's why I want to make that one our consistent everybody rehearsal. Is there something else I wanted to say? Any questions about that? Or any more questions about the rehearsal, the recital in general?
You know what time of day or what time the recital is going to be due?
I do not. They're usually at 7, right?
If someone has a Tuesday night class.
Oh,
They can get excused.
yeah. Does anybody have a Tuesday night class? Yes. It is only Tuesday, so if you have,
I feel like if you tell your teacher
Responsibility.
2 months in advance that you have an academic recital, they should excuse it.
yes.
So, just
Let
tell
your
them.
teacher know, please. What is it, like a Bible class or what?
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a 3-day.
Yeah, if that's anybody's situation, let the teachers know in advance, that way they know, and they're not like confused. But so, did you have that happen, Sarah, in your,
Mine was on Friday,
uh,
or Saturday.
but you can get it,
I have a feeling, if you tell them 2 months in advance, and then just work around, then you just kind of,
I'm sure they,
because Tuesday night.
I'm sure they were next to you though.
We're she did a class cut on it, like we
Yeah,
didn't
that's
ask for
true.
it. She said it was just great, you shouldn't have to, but.
Yeah, so just, communicate that with your teachers or whoever, if you have work at that time, get us help. There was something else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, toward the end, my goal is to not have to plan any extra rehearsals toward the end. I was in a choir that toward the end it was like these songs are not coming together. We need to get things together, and the director ended up having to schedule like extra rehearsals outside of the ones that we were already having, and I don't want to do that to you because it's not fun. As much as you love being here, no more than you want to be here. So that being said, attendance is really, really important, because if we have days where it's, oh, I didn't show up because I didn't feel like it, then we might not be able to make as much progress as I'm hoping to make, and we'll have to schedule extra time for that. As far as the times that I did pick, I'm hoping they're not particularly inconvenient for you. I was thinking at first Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday night, but Saturday night is like, I know people like Thomas and Steven are doing Saturday morning rehearsals, and
And we
people
love you
do.
for not doing
I don't know. So yeah, that's why I picked Sunday, because I figured you're here for church anyway. You're probably not having necessarily planning something as much or as often as you would on a Saturday. So it's kind of like, I feel like that's like your day off, and Sunday's kind of like your week for church anyway.
Since we're doing a rehearsal Sunday night and Wednesday night, can we just start as soon as we get out of church?
Yes.
Instead of starting at 8:30, can we just all get over here after the second service if we have, and then just start as soon as we can?
Hannah did Wednesday night rehearsals last semester. Did you have any like that, or no? It was pretty much 8:30 or later when people were showing up. So if you get here earlier, I will start. If you want to get out a few minutes early. But it was like pulling teeth to get everybody to her rehearsal for her. She was walking over at the end of the service, and it was 8:20 by the time she got over here, and it just wasn't happening. So
Yeah, we usually get out like 8:15.
yeah. But so if y'all come over right away, and who has the 7 o'clock Sunday night? Pretty much everybody. Anybody from 5?
Oh wait, did you say Sunday or Wednesday?
You work during church,
I
don't
work.
you?
Did you
Uh,
say
You what?
5?
When? Well, either way.
But 7 Wednesday.
Okay. So yeah, if you have the 7 o'clock one, if you have the 5 o'clock one, do try to be here a few minutes early, just in case you do start early.
And there might be times that I might be late for some of the shifts because I'm in discipleship. So my shift ends at 7, and then it's kind of whenever I get off around 7, and then I have to get back, get a shower, change, and then come. So I might be a little late every once in a while, but I should probably get late.
Just text me, let me know. We will not get to farewell dear love. We'll touch that on Sunday. Let's go back though, and do Social Madrigal one more time, and we'll be done. How often have you both those words in one song?
They're too big. Sheep herder. Not a shepherd.
Research him on Google.
It sounded really good. I do want to work on, next time we work on the song, this last page specifically, because it's a little bit more complicated than the other parts. So it sounds good, but I think it can use some cleaning up. So far, I've been texting everybody this semester rather than using GroupMe. It's a lot more time consuming for me to text everybody, so I will be going back to GroupMe. I just want to make sure everyone's getting my messages in case you deleted the app or got a new phone or something over the break. So if you don't have GroupMe installed, please install it. Because I will start using that to remind everybody of the time to give you more information. Show of hands, who prefers a video message rather than a text message? Or would you rather we just have it in text? Text, okay.
Not that we don't like seeing you in videos, but we can refer back to text a lot easier.
The video, I know you did a couple of videos
Yeah.
for your choir. I enjoyed the videos for the
Mine's yours.
my video.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed the video that you gave your choir because it was like, it was different. I didn't think about it. Use brain power to read. But yeah, no, I'll probably stick to text messages unless it's like a lot of information. A video kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going back to GroupMe, so make sure you have it installed. Thank you for all for coming, and see you on Sunday.
Not Saturday.
Not Saturday, praise the
Praise the
Lord.
Lord.
And not Friday this semester either.
You guys, you guys did good choir. Even woo!
Their rehearsals are, it's 4 times. Yeah, well, it's like
An
we
hour
need
and a
to do
half.
choirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're doing like an hour and a half on
They're
Saturday.
awesome guys. They're doing awesome music.
Oh, one more thing. If you want to take music with you, if you want to look at it outside of here, I am fine with that. Just make sure you let me know first. So if you want to take your music with you, come and let me know so I can know what number you took. That way if something goes missing, I know who to. Thank you very much.